All right.
My name is Hugo Refutation, and today I'll be reviewing Jason White's speech. And his speech was that capital punishment is an effective deterrence to crime. In his first claim, he showed that in a study conducted in Emory University by the Economics Department chairman, it showed that on average, every execution deterred about 18 murders. But according to an FBI crime report in 2010, it shows that the murder rate in death penalty states are higher than in the non-death penalty states. With this recent survey, it disproves the earlier study done by the Economics Department chairman. His second claim is that he quotes Wesley Lowe on saying that according to a study done by the University in Houston, they found that executing a felon stops 5 to 6 murders, while pardoning them increased the murder rate by 1 to 1.5 murders per 3 people. But there's always an alternative instead of killing a pardoning spouse. There is a cheaper alternative, and that is by sending them to life without parole. It would be a cheaper alternative by about $90,000 per prisoner, and this cost was found out by a study done by the LA Times. And now, with what our economy is going through, and with money being an issue, those $90,000, instead of going to spend on death row, to spend on an inmate that is a burden on society, they're better spent elsewhere where else it is needed. And on his third claim of fact, he uses evidence which shows that prison violence is on the rise. That correctional facilities report a 27% increase on inmate violence, and attacks against staff have risen also by 32%. This may be true, but this is based on the whole prison population. The death row population is only a small portion of correctional facilities. And according to an article, a death penalty not needed to prevent prison murder, it shows a study that says that prisoners that are on death row, prisoners that are life without parole, are shown to be less violent than their other counterparts, which are young prisoners in their 20s, also prisoners that are involved in gangs. And finally, with the evidence gathered, firstly, the death penalty states have a higher murder rate than those without it, and sending someone to life in jail is a better option than pardoning or sentenced inmate to death row because it is a cheaper alternative. And lastly, that the violence rate between young inmates and death row inmates and people with life without parole is a huge gap. In conclusion, the death penalty is not a crime deterrent, but just a waste of time and money for the correctional facility.
All right, well, the claims labeled pretty clearly. The secondary issues are presented. On your first point, you basically present your own evidence on a state-by-state comparison, but you don't explain why that is automatically better than the research that was done that the advocates cited. I'm not sure why I should consider one to be more valuable than the other. You just say that it is, and I think that's a little bit conclusionary. When you say life without parole is an alternative, well, that starts to talk about the cost issues, but does it talk about the deterrence issue, which is where this originally came up. On the prison violence claim, you do have this general claim. I thought you had one piece of evidence that suggested that the people who aren't on death row are just as violent, or maybe even more likely violent than the people who are on death row. I think that it's an interesting argument. I think it's a uniqueness argument at best. I'm not sure that it really diminishes the argument significantly. I thought your summary was pretty clear, but it's kind of sketchy in developing the response here. There's not a lot of analysis of the advocate's evidence and reasoning. There's a couple of counterclaims, and those counterclaims need to be more forcefully contrasted to the ones that the advocate presented. All right, thank you.